In this video we're going to cover the basics of how to run TLSNotary. Let's say you're planning to use it to buy bitcoins or similar. We're going to give an overview. Now, what is TLSNotary? Well, it enables you to prove that you carried out a transaction via, let's say, internet banking or something similar like an internet payment system. Usually we're talking about a monetary payment system that's done over the internet. Although there might be some other use cases, but let's not complicate the issue. So what will we do? Well, first of all, let's talk about installation, and that's why we're on this screen. This screen is, if you look at the link here, this link will always show the latest release of the software. This is an alpha piece of software at the moment, although it has been tested quite a lot. It needs a lot more real-world testing before we can say it's out of alpha, I think. So, instructions. Well, instructions are given for each of the three main operating systems, as you can see here. Do read them. In particular, notice that it talks about whether you may need to install Wireshark, which is a network analysis software, and also Python in some cases. Now, the installation consists of downloading a binary, which is actually a browser binary. For example, I might click that one, although I'm actually on Linux here, not Windows. And here it will tell you, well, obviously here we have a binary that you should download. There's something 20 to 30 megabytes in each case for each type. So you need to download that. I've already downloaded it. You also separately need to download source code. Don't be misled here. It doesn't mean that there's a binary, and if you have the binary you don't need the source. The source here is in Python. We're not talking about building and compiling. We're talking about the actual application code being in this download, this source code download, which is compressed, and then separately another binary, which is for the browser. So it's one of each. You can choose which compression format you want. So let's say you've installed that, then you would need to go into the directory, either the directory in a file system browser like that, or in a terminal. And when you've uncompressed, so unzipped or whatever, you're going to see a directory structure like this. TLSNotary is the name of the root directory, and then underneath that there'll be a data directory and startup scripts for each platform, operating system. This file is the green one here, basically. It's the binary that you downloaded. So you need to put that file, it may end in .tar.xz or it may not. You need to put that file, whatever it's called, into this TLSNotary directory at the same level as the data directory and the startup scripts. So once everything's set up, you need to run it. Now, if you're on Windows, obviously you can double-click the bat file. If you're on Linux or MacOS, then you can start the startup script. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to run this script. So let's do that now. And here you see, perhaps confusingly, a browser window which is separate from your normal browser. Notice it started up very fast there. It will be a little slower the first time. After that it will be fast. You notice here it's opening not an external web page, but it's part of the application, part of an add-on in fact. So don't want to go into too much details about what this is. This is just to focus on how we use it. The first thing you're going to want to do is to run self-test mode. So that's already selected. There is a normal mode, which I will talk about in another video, and there's some advanced settings, but it doesn't matter right now. Running in self-test mode. This is needed so that you can prove to yourself that the information provided by your internet banking or internet payment service or something similar is providing the right kind of evidence. In other words, does it show the full details of the money transfer you made without leaking too much of your privacy? You certainly don't want to send out to anyone all the details of your bank account all your balances, and certainly not your login details. All you really want to send out is, I made this transfer to this person of this amount on this date. So to give you an example, I think I put it here. This is an example actually from my own bank account with some private details removed. You have acknowledgement, transfer completed, reference number, date, from account, and then it gives an account number, to account, to name. Well, we may not want name, but we certainly want the account number, right? And we have, of course, the important information, the US dollar amount there. There'll be things like charges, but arguably they don't. Well, actually, they may matter also. So that's the kind of information I'm talking about. What you want to know is, can you generate a web page containing that information, and hopefully only that information? Although maybe a little more information, maybe your name, for example, and then prove that, let's say, by auditing that page, by giving proof that you visited that web page with that data to an auditor, you can prove that you made the transfer and thus enable a Bitcoin transaction using multisig. If not all of that is familiar to you, then maybe you need to read a bit more about the background behind this project, but for now I just want to show you how to do it. So we run in self-test mode in order to find out if our bank or other system will allow this. So let me first press Start Self-Test, which sets up the connection between the auditor, the person who's checking, and the auditee. But in self-test mode, actually both of those two people are you. There is no separate auditor, so I'm not at the moment connecting to another person. I'm connecting to another program on the same machine, on my machine. In a moment, this takes about 20-30 seconds, but in a moment you'll see a little message pop up saying, okay, that was a little bit slower than usual, but it always takes at least 20 seconds, I think. Now, the connection to the auditor has been established. A reminder, there is no separate person who is an auditor at the moment because I'm in self-test mode, but anyway, it's been established. I can now open a new tab and go to a web page and then do the audit. So that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm going to go to OK Pay. Let me explain why. I would like to show you exactly how this works with a bank account, but the problem is that because this is a public video, it would be rather stupid of me to expose really any details about my own personal bank account, because it's a bit different, right? I'm showing a video to the whole world. I'm not passing information to one specific auditor. Therefore, what I'm going to do is use an OK Pay account that I have, which I set up some months ago but never actually used. And to be honest, I don't see any situation I ever will use it, so I'm not too worried about privacy here, since there's no money involved. So I'm going to log in. Now, I've only used this a few times, so I need my email address and my password. Let me just copy and paste my password. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, that logged in pretty much immediately. Now notice at this point I'm not doing anything unusual, I'm just navigating the internet. Also notice this page does have SSL properly enabled. That's obviously absolutely necessary. You can see here my account amounts are just 0. Now we do have tabs here such as payments sent. Now because I've never used it, there's nothing here. If there was something here, then hopefully it would be, something similar to this, maybe not detailed, giving a date, an amount, and an account that was sent to. So you just have to kind of imagine that data like this is appearing on this page. So let's say it did appear on this page. What we're going to do is audit the page, produce proof that we visited this page with this information. So we click this button, audit this page. Audit this page. You get some information messages here. They don't really matter. Basically, it means that the auditor and the auditee are communicating with each other to set up the necessary crypto stuff to generate the proof. But it's done safely. Refer to other documents for more details. Okay, that's finished. What's changed? Well, mainly there's a new tab here. What's in this tab? Well, we can see that in this tab is the same information as on this page, if you review it carefully, but it's not formatted properly, and the reason is all we've done here is loaded the raw HTML. Okay, so you obviously have to check that whatever information here, like suppose it said, $100 here was sent to account 1234, you have to double check that that information is shown clearly on this page. If it's not, then something's wrong, but usually it will be. So if it is okay, that's proved to you, the self-test has proved to you that, yeah, I can prove that I sent money on a particular time and without exposing too much personal information. Here it exposes my name, it also, and my email. It also exposes my IP address here, which that's obviously not going to happen if you're using internet banking, or at least I don't think so. So OKPay obviously has their own security measures. That may or may not be acceptable to you in certain situations for certain reasons. You have to figure that out for yourself. But let's just say the information here does prove what we wanted to prove, and it doesn't expose too much information. Don't forget, it's only going to be sent to one person anyway. But that's to bear in mind. Then let's say we're happy with that, then we can press finish. Now, because this is only a local test, I don't care. But if I was sending it to the auditor, I would have to be careful and only press finish when I was sure that I wanted the auditor to see this information. So here you get a message, congratulations, if everything was successful, and in this case it was. Okay, so that's the end of this video. In the next one, we'll see how TLSNotary runs in normal mode, where someone else is going to verify the web page that you visited. Thank you very much.